Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from Fitch-Rona EMS, J-Dog Jeff Dostalek. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
J-Dog. I am doing great, Jeremy Dog.
Well, they call me J-Dog here, so I was well, yours is in the initials. So, and I was telling everybody that, hey, J-Dog reached out to me about some winter weather safety tips, so we got to get him on. But either way, we are coming into winter, or winter has been here, kind of above the snow amounts already. We're ahead of that. We're in the heels of a large snowstorm coming in here. So we wanted to talk about winter weather safety, and I say you talk about winter weather safety. Yes. And Jeff, we see all sorts of different emergencies when it comes to the winter, and a lot of them we're prepared for, and yet we still slip and fall, or we still get a heart attack from shoveling. There are just definitely a lot of different emergencies, and I don't know if this year just stands out. It feels like it's been a very windy year, and we've had some extreme weather events. And so as we start here, winter weather and Fitch-Rona EMS, how do you guys come together?
Yeah, preparedness. That's the biggest word we have. You talk about slips and falls. We've had a couple of those already this week with some of the ice that's out there. In fact, we had an employee slip and fall on a call. So we're not immune to those things either. And so that kind of is the reason I wanted to bring this up today and at least get some information out, is just being prepared for the significant event that we might have in the next couple of days, but just kind of general thoughts about what winter preparedness is all about. So slips and falls are the biggest one. Biggest worry that I have with me and my family, and they always harp on me. I'm like, be careful you don't fall. Is just knowing that there's ice out there. A lot of times, like the last couple of days, there's been a little bit of small snow events that cover up the sidewalk, but yet there's ice underneath it, and just being prepared. Making sure that you're holding on to handrails, especially going up steps, making sure that you're shuffling your feet. If you know that there's snow or ice out there, wearing, good boots or shoes that will help you grip the ice if you can. If you're out and about on a consistent basis in snow, is the cleats that you can buy at Farm and Fleet or some of those areas that you can put on your shoes to help you walk. Things like fractured arms, fractured wrists, dislocated shoulders and head injuries are the biggest things that we worry about with those slips and falls. With the event that's coming up in the next couple of days, we'll have 40-mile-an-hour winds blowing snow. And it's hard to walk in 40-mile-an-hour winds in the middle of the summertime, let alone put snow and ice on top of that. So being prepared for those slips and falls is the biggest thing.
Jeff, maybe for folks too, I was thinking, well, I've lived in Wisconsin all my life, and I know how to walk on snow. And everybody slips every year. What's the big deal? Yep. And in all seriousness, people die from falls. It may not happen, or it may not be an instant thing, but for a lot of people, that is the start of a chain of reactions that ends really badly. So put it in perspective for folks who are like, Jeff, you tell me every year, but dude, it's just winter.
Yeah, I think if you pull the statistics of especially older adults that are out, that you don't get out as much. I'll put myself in that category as an older adult that takes a blood thinner every day. That slipping and falling and hitting your head is a big deal, even though you might not think that it is. And it certainly warrants a trip to the emergency room, because those small bleeds, they take time. But if you're taking Coumadin or some of those blood thinning drugs, the bleed doesn't stop, and you might not notice it for quite some time. Hip fractures, the mortality of older adults falling and fracturing their hips and is great. So it's just, I know I harp on it, and our job is to go out and take care of you, and certainly that's why we're here. And I think part of our job is to do prevention. And if you watch this and you hold on to a handrail before you go down the stairs and you don't slip and fall and hit your head, well, then I've done something good this week. So if you look at the statistics, the mortality of and the cost to you, not only physically but financially, we're just taking a few safety tips, putting salt down on the sidewalks. And I know other people out there will be like, well, you put too much salt out and that's going to get in the rivers. And I understand all of that. I do. And I'm very sympathetic. Put the salt down and, or mix it with some sand to make sure that you get that ice melted. Now, when it's cold like this, the ice melt is not going to work on the ice that's on your driveway or your sidewalks. But as soon as it starts to warm up, it'll start to melt. The snow will start to melt. It'll run across your sidewalk, and then it'll freeze at night. So I think taking those necessary precautions is really important, and it'll save your life if you do.
Yeah, and I can assure you that across Dane County and across Wisconsin, ambulances are transporting falls nonstop, start of winter through the end of winter, and it happens every single day. So it doesn't matter the age group. We hark on the old or elderly, but it's not. Nobody is invincible to slipping and getting hurt. So I think good points there. I interrupted you, but I know where you were going next. And we are looking at the potential for blizzard-like conditions coming up. But it does really raise awareness into if you are traveling and you're caught in your vehicle, and there's a lot of things that can happen there. But this one, we're also going to see some very extreme cold here. So take us down the path of you're stranded, whether it's at home or in your vehicle.
Right. So again, preparedness is the biggest word. So what I've tried to do this week is think about all of things. And, I'm in the field. So, sometimes I get a little complacent as well. But I think about all the things that could go wrong with me, driving and going to work, and I got to get to work because I got to relieve the person that's on shift before me. And think of my son who's coming from Arena into, Maple Bluff, and what that road's going to look like tomorrow. So be prepared, have those warm blankets in the car, a shovel, make sure your cell phone is charged. If you have a portable charger for your cell phone that you can, carry with you, make sure that's charged as well. If you happen to get stuck, don't leave your car running in a snowbank so that the exhaust, backs up into your car and carbon monoxide becomes an issue. Make sure that people know what your travel route is, so that if you don't show up or they start to get concerned, that they at least know which way you were taking to get to wherever you're going. A small thing of snacks in the car, granola bars, some nuts or peanuts in there if you can do that, and water to have in the car. Because if you do happen to get stuck on Highway 14 between Arena and, Madison at, tomorrow night at 4:00 in the afternoon, and the snowplow comes by and doesn't see you, and you're stuck there for a while, at least you're prepared. On the home front, I would be prepared for making sure that all your vents around your house are cleaned out as the snow starts to drift across, to go out and clean those as well, so that you don't get the carbon monoxide back up into your home. If we do lose power and you have a portable generator, make sure that it's properly vented as well. So those are I think the really basic things to think about, and that we get a little bit complacent. I feel that we just get in the car and like, well, it'll be fine, I'll get there. And then the next thing you know, you've slid off the road and you're somewhere between point A and point B, and no one knows where you're at, and you're stuck. So just have those things in your car that can help you either get unstuck or get somebody to you.
Yeah, I think you've got to be prepared that you might not get rescued because there might be more emergencies, or it might be just the conditions are too tough to get to you,
Right.
because it could be a number of things. So I think you prepare for the worst and be ready for what you can. So
Right.
the extra help is always good. With the little time we have left, and we'll spend more time talking about this than we have talked about in the past, but extreme cold is also, we've already had it on our doorstep, and it's knocking again here. But frostbite and hypothermia, still two things that we got to stay on top of, especially when we do get into these extreme cold events.
Yeah, so frostbite, with the wind chill factors dipping in the next couple of days, potentially to 15, 20, 25 below zero is going to be a huge factor. So, less than 30 minutes outside with that wind coming across your exposed skin is going to cause frostbite. And so, the key word today, I guess, has been preparedness, is making sure if you don't need to go out, don't go out. If you need to go out and get stuff to be in the house for the next couple of days, whether it's, food or whatever you need to get, I would highly suggest you do that. We're on the doorstep of it. We're talking today about things that might come up in the next couple of days, but as you prepare for those things, my wife was like, I told you, go get some food, pack the house, get all the bread and milk that the shelves have. No, I didn't say it. Go and be prepared. So signs of frostbite. So you lose feeling, you lose your fingers will look kind of waxy, or your toes or your hands or your face. Numbness, white, grayish, yellow skin. The best thing you can do is go to a warm area. Use body heat to warm it up. There's some say you could put warm water on it. I just know that can be very painful. So the best thing to do is not to rub the exposed areas really hard. Like if it's a little cold, you can rub your hands, but if you've got frostbite on there, the best thing to do is just use your body heat to warm it up. And if you really need, it's a true emergency, especially for the fingers and the toes, that you can lose frostbite and extreme cold, that you should go to the emergency room to be seen, if that's the case. Signs and symptoms of hypothermia: usually your body temperature is below 95 degrees. Again, shivering, exhaustion, confusion. Go to a warm area and get warmed up. This can also be a true emergency. If you have neighbors that you are concerned about, so the elderly and the young, those should be people that you should be concerned about. Make sure you check on them and that they're prepared for what the next couple of days could bring, or a snowstorm could bring. And if you know people that are homeless, these are going to be tough times when that happens. So just keep an eye out on those folks as well.
Jeff, great information. Appreciate it. And please stay safe out there all
Thanks.
winter long.
Yes.
The staff of or all public safety staff for that matter. We appreciate what you're doing out there, braving the elements, truly.
Let's hope not.
And yeah, yep. You always hope you're going to stay in the barn on these nights, yep. But you'll be there if folks need you. So thank you, Jeff. We'll catch up with you real soon.
Okay.